Buenos dias. Good morning. My name is Ydanis Rodríguez, Commissioner of the New York City Department of Transportation. On behalf of Mayor Eric Adams, thank you for joining us here today with so many partners. I will be calling them as they will have their turn to talk. The guiding principle of Vision Zero is that there are no accidents. This is crashes. They can be preventable. That we have the ability to prevent tragedies before they happen on our street. As we begin, I'd like to acknowledge that this past Sunday was the World Day of Remembrance for victims in traffic crashes, which also reminds us of the importance and urgency of our work. Thank you to the great work of TA and Family for Safe Street, a club that no one wants to be joining. So let's give them a moment of silence. Thank you. Over the past 4 years, we had remarkable success making our streets safer for everyone. Traffic deaths are down sharply on the Vision Zero. So far this year, traffic deaths are down 25% from the same time point in 2013, the year before Vision Zero began. And we are 18% down when we compare to last year. So we are making progress, but one death is too many. At this point in 2013, there were 63 more people whose lives were lost due to preventable traffic violence. But these are so much more than just numbers. These are real people, family members, loved ones, neighbors, and so many great New Yorkers. People who are alive today because we have made a choice as a city to commit to safer streets under Vision Zero. But one traffic death, again, is one too many. And that's why the important work must continue. The framework for Vision Zero success is based on our holistic approach of what we call the three E's. The E of engineering, designing our street to make it safety for pedestrians and cyclists. Enforcement, cracking down on dangerous driving and holding reckless drivers accountable. And education, changing the culture around street safety and doing direct engagement with people across the city. For everyone to recognize that the street is not a private access, that the street is a public access that belongs to everyone, especially to our cyclists and pedestrians. We have made incredible progress in all three categories. Over the past 4 years alone, we have installed a record numbers of miles of protected bike lanes miles and pedestrian space, more than any number that have been built in the same period of time by any administration. We also successfully worked with our partners in Albany to expand our highly successful speed camera and red light camera program. Many administrations worked so hard to expand it 24 hours. It was our time, our leaders here, especially those from educational and those who follow the data, who went to Albany together, and we were able to persuade those legislators in Albany to expand our speed camera to 24/7. And today we are here to unveil the latest step in our educational effort, our new Vision Zero awareness campaign called Rewind. This powerful campaign emphasizes the deadly consequences of reckless driving. In the ad you are about to see, a driver will be shown choosing to turn a red light, one choice, a bad one, made in a hurry that takes the life of a mother as she and her daughter attempt to cross the street. And this scene should remember us, the mom who was killed with her two daughters here in Brooklyn, a mother who was killing Grand Concourse at 167 by a driver that had dozens of red light camera tickets. The crash then rewinds because in an ad we can rewind, but not in real life. In real life, you don't have that option. They are not all do overs. So today our message to drivers and everyone who shares our street is simple. One choice can change everything. You can't rewind a crash. Let's take a look at the ad right now. Then you can't rewind a crash. This campaign will run in 12 languages across TV, radio, print, digital media platform. This include on billboard, buses, and bus shelters, Link NYC kiosks, gas station pumps, and more. We are also designing the campaign to target hard to reach groups, including young male drivers. Our ad will be featured on Madison Square Garden for the New York Knicks and Rangers games and at Barclays Center for Brooklyn Nets games. Nothing is more important to all of us at DOT, the great family of 6,000 men and women, than the work of our Vision Zero. I hope this new campaign plays a key role in our effort to change the culture around street safety and complement the critical work we do on engineering and enforcement. While there are so many people who contribute to this campaign, I would like to give a special thanks to our communication team for the vision and hard working, including Nick Benson, Tomas Garita, and Sylvie Golden. Thank you for the great job. I would like to thank our Vision Zero experts, including Eric Bittin, Will Carey, Erin Lafarge, King Wild Swartz, Anne-Marie Doherty, and Rob Viola. I can tell you those are the people that work so hard cracking the data. Be sure that we can persuade the legislator that many times they're against it, but it is the data that allow for us to show Albany that we are a driving a data agency, and therefore it is difficult to be against what we are doing on Vision Zero. I would like to thank Caroline Wallace and the creative team at Shirley Matthews Group who helped make our Vision Zero for this campaign reality. Thank you so much for the great work. And again, I can do a great job as a commissioner because I had a great team in leadership. And it is a great work of first Deputy Commissioner Margaret Fajoni, Paul Ochoa, who oversees budget, finance, who works so hard to identify the funding, Julie Vero, who oversees the strategy and policy team, Ryan Lynch, my chief of staff, Leon Haven, who also is in charge of the roadway, Irene, who is in charge of the sidewalk, and Irene on the roadway. It is a great family team of leaders who work so hard, not only to run the largest department of transportation in this nation, but the most effective one. En Spanish, un minuto. Para mí es un honor estar aquí hoy presentando la campaña nueva que es usted no puede revertir un choque. En un anuncio se puede revertir. En un anuncio podemos ver en la imagen de esa madre que iba cruzando en una luz roja teniendo el tiempo para cruzar. Pero un chofer tomó una decisión incorrecta que fue irse en la luz roja y le quitó la vida. Podemos mirar el anuncio cómo se puede revertir, cómo se puede cambiar, pero solamente un anuncio. En la vida real no es posible. Hoy presentamos el anuncio teniendo uno de los mejores años, teniendo una reducción de un 18% en este momento de la persona muerta por ser chocado en comparación con el año pasado, y uno de los años también donde tenemos los números más bajos. I ended with this. This year is one of the two that we had the lowest number of traffic deaths in the history of New York City since we started collecting data in 1910. That's because the great work that we do together with so many partners. Now give me 1 second. It's cold and now let me give you Chief Obey, who is a great leader, who is a chief of transportation for the NYPD. Thanks to the great work of Commissioner Tish and the chief here, we have great partners. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Good morning, everyone. So on behalf of Police Commissioner Tish, thank you to our partners at the DOT, our Vision Zero partners, and all the men and women of the NYPD who work hard to keep our streets safe. Today's Vision Zero Rewind rollout is more than a campaign. It's a call to remember that traffic safety is a shared responsibility involving not just the agencies you see behind me, but everyone, drivers and pedestrians alike. Every fatal collision in this city involves a name, a family, and a story cut short. In light of today's theme, when we rewind traffic tragedies, the pattern is unmistakable. Dangerous driving behaviors are the leading cause. Speeding, failure to yield, driver distraction, impairment, running red lights, etc. These aren't just collisions, they're decisions with serious consequences. At the NYPD, we see the consequences of dangerous driving firsthand. We meet with grieving families. The Highway CIS unit plays a critical role in processing these collision scenes and ensuring that a proper and thorough investigation is conducted. And if the investigation reveals liability on any party, we will prosecute to the fullest extent of the law. We know that a moment of impatience, a quick glance at a phone, or an attempt to beat the light can be the difference between a near miss and a life lost. That is why the Vision Zero Rewind campaign asks every driver to slow down and drive safely in an effort to reduce traffic injuries and, more importantly, save a life. At the NYPD and in partnership with our Vision Zero partners, we are committed to using all available tools to drive down collisions, injuries, and traffic fatalities. When drivers slow down, obey signs, and give pedestrians and cyclists the right of way, lives are saved. So, as the year comes to a close, the Rewind campaign is a reminder to drivers and pedestrians to pay particular attention to the roadway as we all go about our business during the holiday season. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Now let's go to David Du, who is the commissioner of the Taxi Limousine Commission and another great partner also with Visión Cero.
Thank you so much. I want to first thank Commissioner Rodriguez and thank you all for being here. I also want to thank the DOT team and the other Vision Zero partners, including NYPD and DCAS, and all of our Vision Zero partners for being here today. Let's give them a round of applause. As a record number of drivers get on the road for Thanksgiving, this campaign is a reminder for all of us to slow down. Every decision behind the wheel can impact so many lives. Collectively, TLC drivers make almost 1 million trips per day. Every second they're on the road, they embody the fundamentals and goals of Vision Zero. Through the first 3 quarters of this year, we have seen record low numbers of traffic deaths across New York City. Our licensees exemplify the strides that we have made here. But when it comes to safe driving habits, there can never be enough reminders. The average reaction time of an attentive driver is 3/4 of a second. A distracted driver is double that. Those fractions of a second can make the difference between life and death. Once squandered, there is no way back. There's no way to rewind a crash. That's why it's imperative that we make the right choices behind the wheel. And that's why this campaign is so powerful. All New Yorkers will be able to see it in the language they know and speak at home. Hopefully, seeing these scenarios unfold will make people think twice to prevent a crash before they happen. As we prepare for the holiday season, parties, and busy roadways, I'd like to offer an important reminder. If you're in the New York City area, please take a TLC license for hire vehicle if you're under the influence. Our drivers are Vision Zero trained, and you have over 100,000 for hire vehicles and taxis to take home. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Commissioner. I also want to acknowledge and say thank you to the great work of Irene Figueroa, who've been working with the delivery and community also working. Thank you. And Deputy Commissioner Robert Melendez, who also in charge of sustainable delivery also. Thank you for the great work. Now let's hear someone that I started working when I was a council member, when I used to chair the Committee of Transportation and I passed the Street Master Plan. He was at the time a leader of DCAS. And today is an honor to call to come and say a few words, DCAS Chief Fleet Officer Keith Hummel.
I'm Keith Kerman, the Chief Fleet Officer for the City of New York and a Deputy Commissioner at DCAS. First, I want to thank and recognize Commissioner Ydanis Rodríguez, who kept the focus on Vision Zero in the Council, who kept the focus on Vision Zero as Commissioner of VOT. So much of the progress and success of this initiative has his signature on it, and we should thank him for it. At DCAS, I get to work with every agency, but I always like to pick out a few people I don't get to as often. I want to recognize Paul Ochoa, Deputy Commissioner of DOT, who we work with in the background on a lot of issues, not in the foreground. Nick Benson, Deputy Commissioner of Public Affairs, behind this video. Nick came from DCAS. So anything that Nick does at DOT should have DCAS stamped on it. We are co-sponsors. And of course, the extraordinary Kim Wiley-Schwartz, who is behind the educational efforts. In all our Vision Zero agencies who've been working together, usually behind the scenes, sometimes in front since 2014, to keep all the progress that's happening. Public servants come to work each day to support and protect the city, clean our streets and parks, repair our roads, protect our water supply, respond to fires and emergencies. At DCAS, we supply a large fleet of vehicles to support these efforts, the largest in the country. No public servant ever comes to work thinking that today will be the day they're involved in a fatal or devastating crash, a crash that alters and destroys lives, possibly their own. But it happens. I have watched it too many times with people that I know. We do mandated training for every public servant, and we go through the actual events that take place. There's no rewind, and there's no hiding or escaping what takes place. We need to stop it. Our message to fleet operators is simple. Exercise care and caution every minute, every mile. The only safe driving is focused driving. There's no rewinding a crash. One moment of carelessness or dangerous or distracted driving can haunt you, haunt others, follow you, follow others for the rest of your lives, for their lives. Don't let it happen. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Kim. Now let's hear from Jeremy Lockett, who is coming on speak on behalf of Ken Baxi, Bank New York. Great partner, not only they produce, as with DOT, as also co-producers of the 5 back tour, the largest one in the nation and the second largest one, in the whole globe. But they also work year-round to educate also New Yorkers about the responsibility to protect the cyclists. Jeremy.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you so much. I hope everyone's doing well this morning. It's a little chilly. I'm going to keep this a little brief. I feel like in the city of big lights, this is only appropriate to be reminded of safety for our bikers, our pedestrians. I know we've been talking about the onus being on the drivers, something at Bike New York that we do pretty much every weekend throughout the year. It feels like a big lift, but we teach New Yorkers how to safely ride their bikes, whether it's an entry level to rules of the road This is something we know that, again, the onus is not just on the driver, but on us as bikers. I biked here today. I bike safely. We look up our routes before we get out there. But also it takes a team. It's not just about a bike nonprofit and activation. It's all these city agencies here. We work very closely with everyone behind us right now. We want to make sure that every New Yorker, whether it's the duration of these holidays, but afterwards, bikers are obviously using these lanes, commuting to work, going to appointments, seeing family members obviously every day. We're going to see this increase as things warm up a little bit. But again, shout out to everyone with this campaign, and we'll be pushing it as much as we can. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jeremy. For 8 years, I used to go in to testify in front of the Committee on Transportation, and you will say how they represent drivers, because that's the sector that they work with. And they've been a partner for so many years, and now they've been a partner. But Alex from the 3AA is like a great partner. Come and say a few words.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner, and thank you to DOT for putting together this great public awareness campaign, and thanks to all the Vision Zero partners, NYPD, TLC, DCAS, Health Department, all the agencies that prioritize Vision Zero each and every day. I just want to say a word about our driving culture in New York City. We have an aggressive driving culture in New York City. I think the unofficial sound of the city is probably the honk, and I've been trying to listen throughout this press conference. How many times have I heard a honk? And it's been at least a couple dozen just in the 15 minutes. And I'm just here to say it does not have to be this way. An aggressive driving culture in our city, in our state, and in our country is not inevitable. We've done studies at AAA that say one of the biggest predictors of whether somebody drives aggressively is whether they see other people driving aggressively around them. So aggressive driving is literally contagious. But if aggressive driving is contagious, safe driving can be too. So if you slow down, you keep your eyes on the road, you yield the right of way to other road users, you don't drive impaired, and you tell people you're not driving impaired, you can set an example for your neighbors, and you can help make the city a safer place. So thank you to everyone for making this public awareness campaign happen, and have a safe holiday season for sure. And we'll be out there to help rescue folks throughout the coming months. So I always like to say, for anyone on the side of the road, make sure you slow down and move over. For tow truck drivers, NYPD, fire department, EMS, DOT workers, of course, give them a margin of safety. So thank you, and thank you to DOT for making this happen.
Any question? If not, thank you.
Good to see you. Great job to you. You know what?
Oh, I didn't realize you were